Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Covered Color. My name is Max. I appreciate you for tuning in tonight. We have a good show planned for you. Jackson and I have a great show. He's sitting right here by my side. We're going to look at the lightning spread and lightning spread adjacent type content. Hey, Tommy, how are you doing today? Thank you for being here, sir. I really appreciate it. Let's go check out the market first, but then we're going to look at QLDY. And then we're going to look at maybe some blocks and Alti or blocks and whatever else. All right. And then we're going to look at the max factor. I put some new ETFs in the max factor I wanted to tell you guys about. But let's start with the market. Well, do you look at that? S&P, in other words, is still going up and getting ready, hopefully, to obliterate this trend line. They need to get on the other side of this trend line. The bulls really want to get it back up into balance here around, from 67.50 to 67.80, that back up into this balance. We'll see, though. That's a lot of work. A lot of work yet to be done, and there could still be some sellers that come out of the woodwork. We shall see, though. Here's what the NASDAQ looks like at this hour. This is a 30-minute bar chart. Let's look at Bitcoin to the dollar. I'm not on that one. Let's look at Bitcoin to the dollar. Gosh darn it, I did the same thing again. Bitcoin to the dollar, but let's look at either Coinbase or futures. We'll just do Coinbase because I was showing you guys today that in the bigger scheme of things, or on this time frame, it looks like they check back to the previous POC, which is bullish in an uptrend. It can be. A lot of people use that as if it holds the previous POC, is a bullish signal. Well, but what's I think interesting to do sometimes is to step out in time a little bit. And so let's look at the 4-hour chart just for a change of pace. It just gives you a little bit more perspective. So in the 4-hour chart, we're in the bigger scheme of things. We were in a broad trading range, really kind of high, really at the top of a broad trading range. But really, it looks like the trading range goes from, 115 to 120 or something, with about 117, is the point of control. So on this time frame, if a bear might want to, a bear could sell the 117 if we get back there. If we get back there and fell, you could be the reverse, check the POC, and if you thought we were going to go lower. Not what I'm saying, but it puts a whole different perspective on it when you step out in time. And then if you step out on the daily chart, because Bitcoin's just been insane in the longer time frames. Holy cow. We're still totally overextended. And, check the POC move, buy the dip move in this time frame might be 97 or something. 104.97. We hit 104 the other day, but the next buy the dip in this area is 197. Anyway, hopefully it won't come to that. So, all right. So let's get over here and talk about the lightning spread. Jackson, what you chewing on? Okay, that's good. Good boy. Okay, so right here where it says, I'll highlight the lines I'm talking about. This was the one trade they did today. They did a 3-lot trade just like they've been doing all the other days. But do you guys notice anything different about today's trades? Column E is the quantity. Column F is the price. Well, my gosh. Look how much more they got for their option spread than they normally do. Hang on, I messed this up. They actually may not have got much more for the spread, but look how much more the option they received for the option they sold. We'll see how much more they got for the spread. And they did. They got, they usually get 40 to 50. Yeah. 40 to 50 is what they've been getting. They got 66 and 62 one day. Today they got 74. So That's the way it goes when you're selling options. It's in addition to the option, creating a buffer from the little bit of income. Also, if the market goes down, especially goes down fast, it tends to explode volatility. So the income that the option is able to create is a little bit bigger. Still won't prevent the ETF from losing money, but it'll increase the cushion. All right, well, that is great. I'm glad to see that. We could look at our position sheet. The position sheet, we were at 8.56. Now we're at 8.779. Money's coming in. They still have 355 longs, and they're only with 300 or 3.5. Call it this way: they have 3.55 longs, and they're only selling 3 options against it. So they're 0.55 naked long. That's not really, you wouldn't call it a naked long, but it is. I mean, uncovered or unencumbered by options. I call it straight long. Naked implies you're short an option. I don't think you'd say naked just about a long option. But I call that straight long on those 55 shares. Now, having said that, what is going on with this thing? Why has it been underperforming the Qs every day? It did it again today. I was trying to get a better kind of a grip on it, and it hasn't been around a month yet, so none of the commercial packages, my numbers weren't working out. So I wanted to verify it with some of the commercial packages. So I tried stock analysis, and I guess we could just end this one right here, but let's just look at this one. QYLD, and I have a theory that a viewer, Zizi, gave me, and I put an idea in my head during the afternoon show on why it may not be working. We could get in the back tester and maybe back test the theory, go back a year and look at that. I'll hang on before I do that, because that'll probably run a lot of people off. QLD against QQQ. It's QLDY for one thing. QLDY. All right. I mean, it's not like a lot is separating right now. And it's been a very short time frame. And it looks like QLDY is tracking it pretty well, just kind of looking at it. But when you look at each daily result, QLDY has never been ahead that I remember, or even been close. Today, let's look and see what it was today. Where's the best place to look at this? Maybe like this. QLDY was plus 163. It outperformed today. I thought we'd never done it before. Oh, no. It was, it's because I was thinking the SPY. All right, 163 to 2.12. And I haven't been keeping track of it the other days. I was keeping track of it on a cumulative basis. You can see on a cumulative basis, the Qs are ahead by 1 point. As this pays a couple more dividends, it's going to pass it and never look back, in my opinion. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so let's talk. We could maybe talk about why I think that is, but let's talk about the other lightning spread stuff first and see if you guys have any normal type questions. So let's look at some of these other ones. Let's look at blocks. This is our other lightning spread buddy from Nicholas Crypto. Now this thing's up 2.74% today. Great job. Great job. I mean, it's a good looking chart. Let's make sure that includes dividends. Yeah, it just did it for dividends. $0.18, 16 cents, 16 cents, 16 cents. You guys pretty happy with this one? Looks pretty steady. I just had it recently, and I don't really look at the dividends. It was paying a little bit less, but it didn't have the price was also Heck, it's 20. It's a full 20% higher now. That's the cool thing about whenever you get some growth out of these, as the price grows, you have more assets to sell options with, and it creates the snowball. Anyway, yeah, it's a good looking ETF. So now let's go to the crypto quartet, and let's look at. I watched ETF Inspector tonight, and Alti didn't change anything. They don't have anything new, anything old. They just changed some stuff around. So, but we can at least check that out. But let's look at blocks. I was just thinking about Alti because I passed by it. Stock positions, blocks. Here's blocks. Blocks are the one that does the lightning spreads. Okay, now these are today's results, but this is tomorrow's. This is the current lineup. So this is the current percentage. They have 15% in HODL, 15% in FBTC. Those are Bitcoin ETFs that own physical Bitcoin. Then they have some Ethereum, just under 10% Ethereum. Then after that, the rest of it is stock. The cool thing about the stock is, and on the stock, they are doing lightning spreads. With one exception, they put a big hedge on the other day that we're also going to look at in a second. I put that hedge that I showed y'all last night into the into option strat. So we'll look at that in a second. But first of all, let's look at Blox's option positions. Okay, so here's today's option positions. Let me do a little. Is this today's? I actually don't know if this is today's. I mean, it should be, but well, let's look here. Sorry about this. Well, anyway, I guess I could tell by looking at, I figured out how I could tell. Okay, so let's sort. These guys, they put a special position on Cipher mining. So they had just, they don't show their trade. So I have to look at their position, and I have to think what it was yesterday and figure out what they took on or put on or took off. Okay, they have this big three-legged trade that I'm going to show you guys an option strat. And then other than that, they just have a put spread. So the put spread is kind of the normal thing. They're selling the 15.5, buying the 12. That's your normal lightning spread. In addition to that, they also have shares of Cipher, right? I mean, they have shares, but plus they have that put spread. That's totally normal. Then on top of that, I don't know if they were afraid about the bottom falling out of this one. On top of that, the day of the, they put on a hedge the day of the crash. Because I didn't notice it the day, but well, it may have been on the day, but since they don't show the trades, I've tried to piece it together the best I can. Let me show you how I figured it out. Here's what they have on, I believe. They're long shares, but since they don't publish the trade, I don't know what price. It's trading at 21. I just put 15 in there, but they're long shares. This thing's been going up with some kind of profit in there. The exact amount doesn't really matter that much for the sake of the option positions. We can even turn the shares off, and it'll explain it a little bit better. Okay, so what they did is they put on a big collar. They the 19.5, they sold this one 3,300 times, and then they sold the 18.5 1,800 times. And at 33 plus 18, yes, equals 51. Remember, I was telling you this is some type of balance. I figured the money balanced. I figured maybe the debits and credits balanced, but the contracts balance, it looks like, or they come close to balance anyway. So all they're doing is they're saying, hey, we're going to give away some upside, but we don't want to. This thing's not going to beat us under 16. Well, turns out they didn't need it, but they're still in the profit. I mean, turns out they didn't need it, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, if we turn the stock back on, they've been in cipher for a while because I'm still bragging about telling all the guys in Discord about it. And it might be something to look at because these guys are sharp. They may have been in it since 10 or something. That part doesn't really matter. They're just trying to lock in whatever. I mean, it matters, but you can kind of get the picture there. This is what's called a collar. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. So I'm done with my little spiel, unless there's anything, and then you guys can ask questions or whatever. Let's go. Let's just look at Alti because everybody loves Alti. Then we'll take some questions or whatever. I mean, Alti's awesome. So we have to go to the crypto quartet. I mean, Alti is a monster. Option positions, Alti. Let's see if these are new. Yeah, 1014. These are new. Okay, we'll look at the Alti option positions. But anyway, let's just first start the Alti stock positions. Most people are into stock. These are tonight's weightings. These are the weightings as of the close of bell. Then in the right-hand column was the change for today, and I'll show it to you in a chart form here in a second. But so this is today's results. But look at that. The average stock up 5.7. That's amazing to have a portfolio of stocks and it's up 5.7 on average. And you're a covered call fund and you make 2% of that. You're actually a caller fund. I never thought that there'd be a caller fund someday. I always figured that, I knew about callers, but it's so cool that there's an ETF that just does pretty much callers 24/7 on high IV stocks where you can harvest the IV and skip a lot of the bad consequences. Anyway, this is a great time to be a trader, great time to be alive. So here's the chart with today's changes on it. Tomorrow could be a totally different game, but Rigetti's probably not going to be up 25% again tomorrow. We'll see though. We'll see. Hopefully it won't give that all back. Now let's look at the Alti option positions and see what these guys are doing. I know from watching ETF Delta or Inspector, that they just modified some positions, but they didn't add or take anything totally out. So I just want to see the synthetic book. So Affirm, Bullish, those all have puts and calls. So the reason we know it's the synthetic book is because it's just a put spread and that's all there is. CNC, what is that? Centene, CN, or is it Centene or some? I think it's Centene or something. It sounds like mouthwash or a medical company or some BS like that. Anyway, whatever makes money is fine with me. If it has highball, makes money. CoreWeave is also a put spread. Oh, no, wait. CoreWeave has calls also. Never mind. I know which ones they are. It's also Galaxy, and it's also Lulu, and it's also and it's also, maybe that's all. Let's look at the synthetic book the other day. We had, the other day the ones I grayed out are done. So we had Galaxy, Lulu, and CNC, whatever the heck that is. Let's go look. It's in a very good show if I don't even know what CNC is. Centene. Okay. That's WellCare of North Carolina Investment. So I was right. It was a care. I said it sounded like mouthwash. I was going to say your personal care products or something, Centene or a pharmaceutical or something. But yeah, I could see that. All right. Back to this. Well, we'll do the max factor in a second. Back to the crypto quartet. So I believe that Galaxy, Lulu, and Centene are synthetics, and the rest have stock. Doesn't matter. In fact, I prefer the synthetic way, but a lot of people prefer the stock way, but they don't ask us. All right, very good. What do you guys want to talk about? What are you guys up to tonight? Anything? Is anyone even here? At least I'm sharing the darn screen. There's just 2 people. That's cool, though. I appreciate you guys being here. Hey, Mike, how are you doing? Tommy and Froggy, Whistler Brad. There's a lot of people in my comments for just 2 people, though. Maybe that 2 people's wrong or whatever. Oh, 12 people. I knew that was wrong. I knew you guys were here. I was like, there's got to be, or whatever. I didn't, like I always say, I didn't even know how to look at that for a long time. I didn't even know where it was. I used to ask you guys, how many people are in the stream? Yeah, it shows 12. Perfect. It was showing 2 on my end, but I guess it just finally refreshed. All right, so we have the usual crowd here. Tommy, Froggy, I am Cannabis 9400. Hello. I don't think I've seen you in here before, but thank you so much for being in here. Mike's in here constantly. Okay, Whistler Brad. I have 2 Brads from Canada, because I always get Whistler Brad mixed up with another Brad from Canada. But anyway, they're both great guys, and they've both been fans of mine since the very beginning. All right, Whistler Brad. QLDY, is really going to benefit from the lightning spread? Well, I mean, I was hoping so. But don't the Qs move in amounts rather than a big jump? Yes, there'll be some days when the Qs move, and so you think you don't think it's the right strategy, right? In smaller amounts. I get you, Brad. I thought the Qs moved in big jumps. I mean, they leave gaps behind all the time. I mean, QDTE does great, just being uncapped at night. And that kind of takes advantage of the volatility. That's not what this does, or that's exactly what this does. I take that back. This sells options in the morning. This is uncapped at night, and it owns stock or synthetics. My theory, and it's not I can't take credit for it. It was ZZ that put the idea into my head, but he said, okay, they're using to deepen the money, and they should be using the synthetic. And I'm saying, no, they're just the same as stuff. He's going, no, he's going, but yeah, but, and I started thinking about it. So the synthetic, you buy a call and sell a put. So the synthetic has no theta decay. A deep in the money doesn't have a lot, but it has a little bit. And a synthetic has 0. Synthetic's just like stock. And a deep in the money has very little, but it's still something. And so he got me thinking, and that maybe they weren't using a high enough delta. But then I convinced him. I said, no, it's a 99 delta. It's as far in the money probably as about as you could go. But I don't think that's it. But it only goes out to December 19th. So it's only 3 months out. So it probably does lose. It probably has lost a little bit of time decay. It probably doesn't move quite 1-for-1 with the market. So anyway, I don't know. I'm going to try to get the guys on the show or try to get an explanation from them. I'm going to keep looking into it and try to get some better data on it. I think that the strategies, I'm still sticking by it. But I mean, but I'm listening to what the critics are saying. It does concern me that it doesn't seem to make as much on an up day. I would expect it to make as much. The blocks seems to do the lightning spreads just right, and their stocks all make the same or more on an up day. They're doing the same strategy. Except blocks has the shares. And maybe that's it. Maybe the synthetic is costing us money. And even though in my mind it's not much, and it isn't, it's something, and it compounds daily. And maybe it's a good theory. Anyway, and that may be a weakness in it, but they in the prospectus it says they can do anything they want. We'll give them a hard time about it, and they'll switch to, and we can have them switch to regular synthetics if they think they're losing. If they think they're losing AUM, and we can make a good argument for it. And that's not, I mean, I like the deep in the money method, but I'm saying but why don't we use a regular synthetic? So regular synthetic, there's no decay because of course you own a call, but you sell a put at the same strike. You know, the decay that you're earning on the put offsets the call that you're paying on the call exactly. And it just turns it into stock. So yeah. Good idea, ZZ. That's ZZ must be an option trader. Winners moved to weekly. Looking forward to that. Heck yeah. Froggy, do you think gold could crash? I don't know anything about gold. I'm nervous that anything's up so high. I would say, pay yourself, take some off the table. And I need to also. GDXY has made so much. I would hate for something to happen, some kind of something that I can't foresee, and then all my GDXY profits are gone in like a couple of days or something. So I'm going to sell like half my GDXY pretty soon. I always believe in progressively locking in profits. So, but no, it probably will be fine. I think everyone thinks it's going to keep going up, but gold won't crash as long as US on the paper dollar. But we've been on the paper dollar for a long time, and gold's been a dollar. It depends on more than just that, but I know what you mean. As long as things keep going the way they are going, yeah, for sure. It shows 12. Awesome. Okay. Whistler, Brad, did that make the point? Okay, good point, Max. There are overnight moves that we can't benefit. Well, but the QLDY should be able to, though, because they own that deep in the money option 24/7. So they should be down on the overnight move. And then what they do is they sell the spread in the morning and let it expire. So that's kind of, so they're just covered during the daytime. And that's why they don't pay a huge, that they could pay like twice as much if they would be covered all the time, but they're paying 28% or something, because it's very similar to QDTE, which everybody loved and it got a lot of upside. It has some similar ideas. What I think the problem is the deep in the money option. Yeah, we have it at nighttime, but it doesn't appear to be performing. It appears to be lagging. It has maybe too much theta decay possibly. Maybe I can get the prices, and if I could get there, we could just track that. They only have 3 of them. If we knew what they had in it, I'll try to track that down. I'll see if I can get their fills for it, because we could look at it and we could see how much they're making compared to the Qs every day mathematically. Sorry that we can be. Oh, you got it. Okay. I knew you understood me. I haven't heard anything about the Fed starting QE again. No, I haven't. On Friday, Salty is the only non-commodities ETF in my portfolio went up. I think the only thing in my, I don't know if GDXY was up. I think it was down on Friday, but I was up like 2% on YQQQ. I use YQQQ probably like you use Salty, just to, but anyway, that was the only thing that was up in my portfolio was YQQQ. I'd like to get some Salty. In fact, we're talking about taking some profits in GDXY. I'm really thinking about taking partial profits, not a lot. I still want to keep plenty of gold long, but taking some of the money I made and branching it into possibly into Salty, just sprinkling a little into Salty and maybe throwing the rest into blocks or something. But yeah, we need to get them, but maybe because of my relationship with Jay and with the guys up there, maybe they'll at least give me their cost basis in the long, and then we can just track that option. I need to, actually, they do give us their trades. I think QLDY does give us their trades because it's Defiance. That's what look at that. We have all their trades. But hang on a second. Option. Okay. So let's go over here to Lightning Spread. And I have it on this worksheet. It's just super disorganized, but, so these are, but I've excluded whenever I see one of their long trades, I just knocked it off. Well, I left one on down here by mistake. Okay, we have this one. They bought this one. I don't have the price for it because I knew we didn't need it, and I didn't calculate it. Or I thought we didn't need it. Okay, let me see. I thought I left them down here. QLDY. QLDY, there's one day. QLDY. For some reason, I think I thought though, kind of like, I need to talk to them. There it is. They paid, remember I did say it was a $22.3 million option. Well, I was lying to you. It's a $2.4 million option. They paid $2.397 million for this option, but that was their third one. I need to find out what the first two cost. But maybe, like I say, maybe Jay or Scott or somebody will just give me the cost basis or give me the fill. Just send me the report. Maybe even somebody just in their marketing will. But then we just put it in option strat and just track it like an option, or I'll make a spreadsheet. That's the way I should have been doing it from the beginning. I didn't really want to get that involved, but I really like this fund, and it wouldn't be hard to do. It wouldn't be hard to do. But I saved all their trades for any of the Defiance, because this is every trade that Defiance does. I figured, we might want to go back and I might want to do some content. I'm really interested in this ETHI. It's an Ethereum fund, but it's leveraged plus long, and they run a synthetic, and then they sell covered calls on it. And so it should make about twice, and it's a leveraged synthetic. I think it's double leveraged. And so they should just be making money. Yield. Who knows what the NAV will do. But anyway, I'll get on top of that. But yeah, that one costs 2.3. Okay, let's look at that one, the one fill. We can see how that one option's doing, I guess. So foreign DX. QLDY. There's also a GLDY, and it always throws me off. GLDY, QLDY. I think I've passed it. No, there it is. Oh, no, it's GLDY. I do that every time. There it is. I guess I'll just copy that, and we'll go over here to option strat. Can you imagine buying an option, buying something that expires December 19th for $2.395 million or whatever? Let's just slap this baby in here. So I believe it was December 19th because I looked at it yesterday, but let's go back and check that. 12/19/25. And it's a funny looking strike. That's the problem. We can't really put it in an option strat. They don't have a 1440, or no, this is a 10,000 strike, but they don't go that low on option strat. Anyway, if I could get the other fields, we can at least put it in a spreadsheet, and we can at least, we can't, but then how would we track what this option's trading for? I could start it. Anyway, I guess we could find out what this option should be trading for, but I don't know. It may, I don't know about that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Because these are flex options, and I don't think the public can get a price on a flex option. I'll look into it. I will look into it for you guys if you guys want. Yeah, but they do post trades was the follow-up to that. Okay, so let's look at this. Do you guys want to do the max factor or stock tools? Let's do stock tools. We did the max factor after work. Stocktools.app/max is my referral code. No credit card needed. I always go straight to dividends and straight to income ETF analysis. This is absolutely incredible. Let's compare all the round hill funds. Let's just do a little round hill versus Rex, growth and income. The round hill weekly versus the Rex growth and income. There's only 4 growth and income by Rexes. Let's just do, I guess, round hill versus. I want to do some that are about the same amount. 18, 15. We'll do the Yield Max stock funds and the Round Hill weekly pay. They each have 15. Let's just run that. And let's just see how that has looked for the past month. Yield Max versus Round Hill. All right. So for the past month, you got to be keeping. Let's just look for the past day, and then we'll maybe go on a little bit. Okay. Good job, Broadcom, 12% day. Outperformed the underlying, or it's not Broadcom, it's AVGW from Round Hill, TSLW. These W ones are tough. I mean, that's why I got W pay. I mean, it's good. They're going to hurt on the way down a little bit extra. But that's the cost of getting the extra on the upside. So that's why I don't have a whole lot of it, but I have some to add in for some upside. I got 10% of that one. All right, look at Soxy killing it. GOW killing it. So the only yield max, well, there's two, the first four, there's two yield max and two Roundtree, and then there's two more, or Round Hill. There's two more Round Hill, and then there's one yield max. There's LFGY getting in there down there at number 7. I like to see that. NVDW is looking good. GPTY is looking really impressive. Look at GPTY beating its parent asset. I mean, all of these are. I mean, all of these are doing really well. But I really like the ones that are multiple stocks. So the highest multiple stock one is Chippy, and I've been having a lot of people tell me lately that Chippy's so badass. But I keep wondering why. So everyone's saying how badass it is, but then it's not. I never see it in the max factor. So I thought, oh my gosh, I've left it out of the max factor. So I go and no, it's in the max factor. It just doesn't seem to do that well in the max factor. Now that's maybe I have an error or something. Well, we'll go look at it in the max factor in a second. Anyway, these are all good. You can't go wrong. My favorites are GPTY, LFGY, and Chippy. Anything that's multiple stocks. But YMAG, YMAX, QDTY is a good one. Look at QDTY outperformed its parent asset by a little bit. Alti outperformed or underperformed the parent by a little bit, just a little bit. But Alti outperforms on lots of days. Biggie's an impressive one too. And Biggie outperformed its parent, which is the SPY. Great job, Biggie. Look at SDTY from YieldMax. They sell 0DTE. So they're uncapped tonight also. SDTE and QDTY are also uncapped tonight, as is QDTE and SDTE from Round Hill. Uncapped tonight. Anyway, great job. They look at this. They got 1.52 while the market did 1.53. They just got all of that upside. And all of the NAV, look at this. Rob has a NAV stability rating. It's all growing or slightly growing. I mean, these are all good ones. Okay, so let's go look at my stuff. Maybe trying to think how we should look at it. Let's just get all the ETFs out. Let's put them in alphabetical and go find Chippy. Yeah, we have Chippy in there twice, so I need to remember to take it off and put a new one in. Okay, before I forget, we have two new entrants. I put in QQA, which you guys probably won't care about that much. It's a, but it's a fund based on the Qs, and we were talking about it on the afternoon show, trying to think what the deal is. It's super steady and pays about 12%. One of the guys in the afternoon show liked it. Then there's another one called RSPA, which sells covered calls on the equal weighted SPY. So, anyway, they're both in here. I don't know how they'll do, but the next new one, we need to put it in Chippy's place because I have two Chippies, but let's look at Chippy here. So what's Chippy doing? 34% yield. All right. Been around since April 3rd. Great time to bring a freaking ETF to market. It probably looks, people are probably thinking this thing doesn't have NAV decay because we haven't had a down market. I'm just guessing. I really haven't, because, I bet. I was just checking to make sure it wasn't one of you guys saying I wasn't sharing the screen or something. All right. Well, the quarterly, the purple's the quarterly NAV return. I mean, 3% is all right, I guess. They haven't been around a year, so they don't have any of this. Why do they have an NA here? They don't supposed to have an NA here. Oh, yeah, because they don't have a long-term max factor. For some reason, the Moxie rating's not. Not working on them. I'm not going to worry about that much. I mean, it looks all right. I mean, let's check it out here. I mean, it is beating Alti, so that's saying something. So I guess I do see why people like it. I promise you, as soon as the market goes down, it'll go down too. It did just get introduced at some fortuitous time. Yeah, that's what a lucky. Yeah, that's lucky. And I'm sure it's getting spanked by blocks, of course. Everything's getting spanked by blocks. Let's try it against WPay. I mean, yeah, it is impressive. I take back what I said. It is impressive for sure. Any of you guys have any of that? Looks like a good one. Let's go to the max factor and see what else. But let's just let's sort of by. I did want to show you guys it because I showed this the afternoon, guys. I have a new metric I'm working on called the Jax ratio or something. I don't know. I'm still working on the marketing of it. But what it does is it tries to show you the one that's done the best. It's not trying to predict the future. The Max's Moxie is trying to show you what potential it has. This one's showing you how it's worked out so far. You could also look at it as an overbought ratio, or the momentum ratio. Goldie has the most momentum relative to itself and relative to how it normally moves. It's the most surprising on the upside in a bullish way, in a positive way. We can look on the negative side too, and negatively it would be XYZY, Murney, Y triple Q, which is an inverse, so we'll give them a break. But anyway, so it's just this is just a good little index. Of course, Goldie, iGold, Palti, SLVO. But look at this, CLM. CLM is just outperforming expectations. It's an outperformance index is what it is. So I don't know how you play it. I mean, if you do, does it mean it's time to get out of these because they're too far ahead, or does it's the momentum? It's time to stay in them. I say time to stay in them, but anyway. But look at IDEVO. IDEVO is not supposed to be doing nearly as well as it is. It's having its moment. All of these are having its moment. There's the new one. Look at this, that QQA making a 9.74% yield. It's only a 10 volatility, so it's about the volatility of the SPY, but yet it's based on the NASDAQ. I did look into it a little bit. I think they have the NASDAQ. They use like 80% NASDAQ and 20% T-bills, so they dampen the NASDAQ out a little bit with some T-bills and then sell some options on it and pay 10 or 12%. I mean, and it's from Invesco, right, or State Street. And I looked at it. It was, the 1 year total return is 17%. So let's compare that with any other Q-based fund. Let's see, and it's the highest, or it's the first Q-based fund we've seen on the Jax ranking, the J ranking, or whatever. It's not going to be called that I'm going to work on the name of it, but. Well, let's see what we have. Another index-based. CEFS is a fund of funds, but it's not really stock index, so I'm going to skip that. I forget what AMAX is, but Triple QI, definitely index-based, definitely a good fund. Pays more than QQA. Triple QI pays 13.5, QQA pays 9.7, but Triple QI is more volatile. It's almost a 12 vol. Triple QA or double QA is really stable. And I mean, double QA is outperforming it this quarter. Double QA's NAV alone is up 4.2, where triple QI's NAV for the past 90 days is only up 3.58, excluding dividends. They're both good funds. I don't know much about QQX, but it looks about like double QA metric wise. Payment wise, it pays 8. I mean, looks like it pays a little bit less. Looks more like a GPIX or something, super non-volatile. But those are that's the Jax factors. But here's just the short-term overall max factor. So TSLP, TS2, iGold, GDXY, TSLY, SLVO, GUI, Goop, K-Gold. Boy, K-Gold's doing great. Great. So look at K-Gold up 22% on the quarter. I mean, iGold's only up 15%. K-Gold's up 22. GDXY is only up 16. I need to get K-Gold. Why don't I have K-Gold? I needed K-Gold last month. Gosh darn it. TSLW is also having its moment for sure. I should say Tesla. But look at K-Gold versus Gold I. K-Gold's up 22%. Gold I only has 6% NAV return this quarter, which is still fine. I mean, at that rate, it's going to be 25% a year, and it's paying a 14% yield. That'd be like a 40% total return. I mean, we take it, but I would rather have this rate. At this rate, K-Gold's going to have more than 100%. I don't think it's going to hold. And then here's our friends over here at Blocks. Blocks is a good one here, paying 27% right now, 19% NAV return only for the past 90 days. Volatility's high at a 40. Volatility's definitely high in this one. I mean, it's probably the highest index. That's almost it has as much volatility as a single stock one, really. You know, like Tesla's 55. I mean, or there's lots of single stock ones, like AMD's a 64. Most of the index-based ones have less. Look at XYLG is only an 8 vol. SEPI's an index-based. It's only an 18 vol. IWMI index, it's a 14 vol. You guys get the picture. That thing is a volatile beast, but it's a good one. We'll look at long-term really fast. We got Palti, TSLP, TSLY, Snowy, GDXY, Goop, GUI, SLVO, and iGold. And AMD rounding out the top 10. Hopefully your favorite fund made the list. Volatility in Blocks gives Froggy a chance to buy more shares. Heck yeah. You wish CLM's been really performing well. I mean, because it's been, because at least I'm judging it by, I don't have any. I'm judging it by the max factor. It used to be kind of mid-pack, and lately it's been moving up. It's coming into its own. I mean, and when you look at it like that, the J factor probably should be the max factor. Anyway, I like the max factor the way it is, but I was trying to look at some other ways to look at risk and reward. So the JAX factor or something. But in any event, but yeah, CLM's very popular anyway, but can you imagine if it paid weekly, people would be all over that? Froggy was looking at Chippy, haven't jumped yet. I mean, so, you know, it's microchips. I mean, AMD's a microchip. That's in Chippy. That's probably responsible for the whole move. I mean, NVIDIA's a microchip. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The microchips have been having their moment too. Oh, yeah, QLDY, 19-cent payment. Let's go back to the, let's go here. We can check out the, reserve. I've been keeping track of the reserve in my little worksheet here. Okay, so right now they're averaging I'm catching them with about a 36% payment right now. You know, we'll see though. Okay, so the last time they paid was Thursday night. So I put it right there. There's Friday night. Here's Monday night. And now they're paying again. 0.1968. And you see right here, the reserve says 50 cents now. As soon as I hit enter, it's going to go down to 31 cents. 31.1 or something, right? It's supposed to. All right, 30 cents. But that's pretty much par for the course. This time last week, it was 31. Then it went up to 39, 29. Then they declared another one. Then Friday came along, was 37. And then Monday comes along, or Monday night comes along, they declare another one. It went up to 50 after today. 37 plus 13 was 50. But then they declared this one, brings it down to 30. So they kind of go back and forth from a low of, since I've been tracking the reserve, the low's been 18 cents and the high's 44. And it just stays real steady between there. And they build it up and then they pay it out. They build it up and they pay it out. Looks like they have a little system going here. And so I'm kind of trying to get the cadence and their thought process going down. But SLVO does not allow drip. I did not know that. I'm going to see if there's any tabs open, anything else we need to talk about. Oh, I showed you the cipher trade. That's right. Cipher trade and blocks. I don't think there's anything in there. We have earnings in the morning. I didn't even look at them. I'm going to see how the banking ones go, and then maybe look at the next set. But I mean, tomorrow morning should tell us a lot. Oh yeah, here was the stuff I was telling you about. Double QA is from Invesco. Remember, I said it's from Invesco or iShares, or I said, I don't know what I said. Anyway, it's Invesco. So these guys are the guys out of Denver, right? And anyway, so QQA is like the Qs, tracks on NASDAQ, but it's designed to provide consistent monthly income and maintain growth potential with less volatility and downside risk mitigation. Oh, and somehow they hedged it too. Anyway, okay, well, perfect. I didn't realize that. Well, I did say they had T-bills in there. It looked like they have less than 100% of the stock, and they're having some T-bills, but they probably use a little leverage or some. Anyway, so they probably do have 100% stock coverage, and then plus some T-bills and probably plus some puts. Anyway, that could be interesting. Then RSPA is also hedged. Okay, that's an equal weight. That's the equal weight SPY that I was telling you about, but it's also hedged. Okay, so that kind of makes it more interesting to me. Now, let me see if any of these other ones that we could put them in the. I just don't care that much about bonds. No one even, or CLOs, collateralized loan obligations. GSY. I just don't. I mean, I just want to kind of stick to my specialty, which is options and option strategies. So anyway, but I did put double QA and RSPA in there. We'll start seeing how they do, and if they start doing well, we'll be the first to know about it. Now, just as a side note, this BKLN maybe should go in the max factor, and it's actually been in my retirement simulator. If you remember my retirement simulator a long time ago, well, I heard Jay talking about this one Jay's talked about one called Sirloin. They call it, but it's senior loans. It's SRLN. Anyway, this one is BKLN, price stands for bank loans, probably a similar fund. Jay was saying that he, on his podcast, he was saying they like to use Sirloin, senior loans, when they need for that style of income. But that was like a year and a half now, and a lot's changed anyway. But at one time I did put, just because Jay mentioned it, and I knew it was competition for covered calls, I put SRLN in, but it never really did that well anyway. So, all right. Well, what else you guys want to talk about? I'm running out of stuff to talk about. What do you mean? Why the flag warning on SLVO? Oh, because of the no, it doesn't allow drip or something, I guess. I don't know. Was it? And also, I'm out of drink. I need to go get a drink. No, it's too late. It's too late to have any more drinks. I need to go play my guitar and relax a little bit. All right, guys. Well, I'll check back for any last questions, but barring that circumstance, Jackson, do you like to come say hi? Jackson, do you like to come say hi? He's going to take a pass on that as well. I need to keep some treats up here so I can get him to do that. I need to work on a show on it. There's not that much. Okay, BITK is the question. I haven't discussed it tonight at all. I want to do some content on it. I've emailed the guy and asked for an interview. I'm just looking for more information and kind of trying to find out more on my own. I have a general theory on it, and I'll tell you real quick. All right, we'll put the video in the comments. I'll watch it. But anyway, have you just okay? But on to the BITK. That one looks what I think they're doing. I don't know how they're paying such a high yield. I think it may. I don't know. We'll see. I would imagine the yield settles down, but that one is selling options just in the morning. It's uncovered at night. It is back then. That's the way to do it. So it's the first one to do options, to do 0 DTE options on Bitcoin. So that's how it's paying so much. It pays more because I'll watch that. Yeah, I like Roger Sands and I watch his shows all the time. I'll watch it, but I'll watch it tonight. I'll watch it tonight when I'm playing my guitar. So here's how they pay so much. No other Bitcoin fund is doing daily options. When you go from monthly to weekly, you kick your income up 40 to 50%. When you go from weekly to daily, it also goes up by some multiple, about the same. We don't have any. We have options doing weekly income on Bitcoin, and they're paying like 50%. So I could see how this could legit pay 100. It about doubles when you go down in, or when you increase the velocity. So that's probably, so I figure they'll probably pay about double whatever YBTC is paying, which maybe that's paying 60. I don't know, but whatever double what that one is, or some multiple of that. But then as far as the being uncapped at night, and that also means uncapped on the weekend, which is the bigger deal for crypto. Now, by the same token, I mean, that's going to work against it if the market ever turns around. But if the market ever turns around, hopefully we won't be in that one, or or hopefully I'll be out by then or whatever. But yeah. So I think that's a monster, a potential monster. That's a potential triple-digit yielder, and as long as Bitcoin keeps going up, should be able to get a lot of upside because they don't uncap by using lightning spreads. They sell calls. So they're fully capped, but just from the hours of 8 to 3 or 9 to 4. Okay. Then from 4 to 9, it's off to the races, and all weekend long, it's off to the races. So that's going to be a good one, I think. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you all for being here. And I think it was a good show tonight. I'm trying to get the lightning spread better. I need to work on the spreadsheet and other stuff. You think Granite Shares will launch a hold? What do you mean a hold income ETF? Hold? What's hold? Like one you can hold? Or one bay is hold a stock? I mean, I'm so dumb at stocks. I haven't heard of that ticker, hold. Anyway, I'm sure you'll follow up. I'm adding until I get 1,000 shares of Maggie. Yeah, I like Maggie, and then WPay. WPay's good. Oh, gold. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm sure they will. They're kind of, their deal is leverage. Is there a leverage gold ETF that has really good option liquidity? Because that's kind of what they need. They use SPXL to use leverage SPX. They use TQQQ for the Qs. For Tesla, they use, I think, TSL. They have to, as long as it has to have a good ETF that doesn't pay, that they can sell options in to turn into a pay one, right? All right, guys. Well, I got to get out of here. I'm going to, and it looks like you guys got to go too. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. Anything you forgot to ask me or I forgot to answer, hit me up in Discord. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you in the morning.